What a wild game tonight for the Golden State Warriors, 127 to 116. This was just a game of runs. The first quarter, the Warriors got outscored by 7 points. The second quarter, they outscored the Thunder by 14. The third quarter, they end up outscoring the Thunder by 21. And in the fourth quarter, they get outscored by 17. So literally every quarter was just a game of runs. Who was able to shoot the ball and get those stops and is running up. The Thunder did the majority of their damage without Shea in that fourth quarter, which was by far their best. It just made no sense. Chet Holmgren ends up getting injured early on after Andrew Wiggins drove and got an and one over him. Just a wild game. This was definitely a statement performance for the Warriors. Like I said, they did not close out the game well. They did not start the game well. So it is a little bit surprising that they were able to win this game. But the Warriors realized that, hey, look, we just got essentially embarrassed in terms of effort against the Cavs, that slow start they got off to. They knew that they had to find a way to win this, and they did. And it was a team collective effort. I mean, Steph drops 36 points, has 7 assists. Draymond, 8 points, 11 assists, 4 boards. Jackson Davis and Looney combined for just 5 minutes because, again, no Holmgren. So that means that the Thunder essentially were running 5 guards. So the Warriors countered. They went with Melton, Steph, Wiggins, Draymond, and of course some Buddy Hield, some Jonathan Kuminga. I think the biggest takeaway from this game was just the Warriors' efficiency. They shot 48.8% from three and 50.6% from the field. I'm just looking at them, and the way they shot the ball against the Cavs was just so uncharacteristic for them. They knew that the Thunder are the best defensive team in the league coming into this, so they had to find a way to just be patient and get the shots they wanted to, and that's what happened. 21 of 43 from three. The Warriors did settle for a lot of threes early on. They weren't making them, which is why they fell behind 7. But then second, third quarter, they couldn't miss, and that's why they were able to run it up to 30. And then unfortunately, the fourth quarter happened, and the Thunder kind of came back. They cut it to like 6 points. I was getting kind of nervous, but then Steph had a big three, a couple of the big threes. Melton was the biggest storyline of this game, if I'm being honest with you guys. I said that in the offseason, he was the biggest pickup in all of the NBA, obviously outside of a guy like a Karl Anthony Towns, right? I mean, we're not counting that. I'm talking about just a free agent pickup to a big time team in the Western Conference. And the Warriors, they get Melton. He came back against the Cavs, and then he settled in against the Thunder, 19 points. 10 boards, 3 steals, 5 of 8 from three. Melton was shooting it with absolute confidence. I was very impressed with him. Andrew Wiggins was tied game high, plus 21. He had 18 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, 8 boards. Wiggins did a good job of getting to the basket. He was also 2 of 4 from three. Jackson Davis, like I said, just played 5 minutes because Chet, you look at him, he played 5 minutes, so he comes out. All right, well, out comes Jackson Davis, and then no Looney tonight because of that. Draymond was very, very good in this one. He had 8 points, 11 assists, and 4 boards. Just finding Steph. A lot of those Steph buckets were assists off of Draymond. And I also love the defense, the tenacity. I know a lot of you guys aren't exactly the highest in Draymond all time, obviously, the respect. I mean, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest Warriors ever. But just where he is at now in his career, I know a lot of you guys are kind of tired of his antics. But to me, I mean, he's the second most important player on this team over Steph just because of his leadership. And he's shown that this season. There's a lot of young guys on this team, and Draymond, he's coached them on the court. He's made plays, and he was big time in this, man. Loving what I'm seeing in a Dre. Andrew Wiggins is slowly but surely getting back to his old self. I think the starting lineup is extremely dangerous. It's going to come down to what can they get out of that 5 position from Jackson Davis, of course, and Looney, depending on who they go with, who they start, who they finish with, because it seems to be changing all the time. And then who's going to start the 2? Melton tonight. Maybe Kuminga eventually gets back there. I don't think Buddy Hield will get that. They'll probably use just shooting off the bench. Podzemski is always a candidate. I know he doesn't shoot the ball well. You want someone who can defend who's also an efficient shooter. And that's exactly D'Anthony Melton. I think he should continue to start the rest of the year. Yes, he's not going to shoot 5 of 8 from three every game, but he just fits next to Steph so well. That's why you bring him in here. Speaking of Kuminga, 26 minutes, 8 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from three. 5 boards, 20 points. Kuminga was just getting whatever he wanted. He was so good in this game. I like him off the bench too, checking in, playing 26 minutes. Anderson, 2 of 6 from the field, 6 points, 5 assists, 5 boards. I thought Slomo was super aggressive. He didn't shoot the ball necessarily the greatest, but he just kind of missed some that he normally makes. I thought he played well. He just came off the bench and again was a positive. So loving that. Buddy Hield, 2 of 5 from three, 8 points. Kind of a quiet night for Buddy. It's funny because 2 of 5 is quiet at this point from him. But yeah, he kind of hit the threes that he hit were just in the second, third quarter, just when the Warriors were running it up. And then for Peyton, he ended up getting the start, of course, last game, and then Steve Kerr decided to switch it, which was interesting. And he ends up going out there and plays 12 minutes, 3 of 3 from the field, scores what 8 points. So yeah, the thing with Peyton is he does a good job of screening and rolling, especially with Steph out there. I like that a lot. I think he's going to get more starts this year, just depending on what the Warriors need. Because when they're playing a team like the Celtics, definitely probably would put Peyton out there. But a team like the Thunder, yeah, I definitely like Melton. So good job by Steve Kerr just making a decision, and it ended up working out. Moses Mooney was quiet tonight, 11 minutes, ends up scoring 3 points, and then Bazemski plays 15 minutes, does not score, was a -10, which was a game low for the Warriors. Jackson Davis was a -6. Bazemski, he has not shot the ball well this year, if we're being honest. Hopefully, he can bounce back next game. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the Warriors, they just did a good job of running up the second and the third quarter. Bad first, bad fourth, but at least they were so good in those middle to be able to pick up a win here. In terms of the Thunder, Shea, 34 minutes, 24 points, 12 of 14 from the field. Poor job by the Warriors fouling him. I mean, some of them were kind of like questionable calls, but just you got to play defense with your feet, not your hands. Jalen Williams, 9 of 15, 20 points. He gave the Warriors a lot of trouble. But the thing is, he was a -19. Shea was a -11. You look at the bench, well, Isaiah Joe was a +8. I'm looking at Dieng was a +4, and then Jones was a +1. So you guys can see, and also Mitchell played 21 minutes, was a +5. So this bench picked it up. I mean, during that fourth quarter, they were out there and they went on a magical run. But obviously, you're not leaving Shea out there, even though all of a sudden you're in single digits. Like you have to bring your best player out there. So I'm not even hating on it, but just a strange game. That's why in the thumbnail it says this was wild. I mean, this was a crazy game. Just congratulations, guys, going out there and beating the number one ranked defense in their own building, closing out the road trip with a lot of momentum. You beat Boston, you beat OKC, you fall to the Cavs. It's fine. Of course, beating Pelicans twice, Rockets, Wizards, also getting a lot of wins in there without Steph. And then he comes back against the Wizards and drops 24. Of course, 27 against the Celtics, and then the game against the Cavs. Yeah, I mean, Steph, he ends up shooting 5 of 10, 12 points. I don't know. It's just one of those games that's like whatever, you forget about it quickly, but nice bounce back. And I mean, 41-point halftime lead was just absolutely devastating. But hey, it's okay, man. The Warriors, good job tonight beating the Thunder. Their next game is going to be on Tuesday at home against the Dallas Mavericks. Another good team that has a superstar in Luka and an all-star in Kyrie. The Warriors are going to have to bring it. I think their defense is going to be the reason why they make a bunch of noise this year in the West. We talked about that in 21-22, how elite the Warriors defense was. They could shut you out for large durations. And that's the defense that we've been seeing this year. It's been absolutely stifling, just forcing turnovers and low efficient shots. Very good job, but also the ability to shoot the ball and to pour it on with the three-point shooting, and then also getting to the basket with Wiggins and, of course, with Kuminga. Steph has been absolutely killing it with his efficiency, his scoring. Cannot wait to see what he does the rest of the year. But the best thing for the Warriors is that they don't have to rely on Steph like they did last year, especially with Melton playing like this. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the video. It's your boy Swaggy. You can also follow me over at Warriors Palace. And I'll see you boys in the next one, man. Smash the like button, subscribe, guys. Your support is much appreciated.